we are. All right, so we are live. Just refresh your Facebook or whatever and try and find it. I will, once I see it, I'll tag you in it because that's most important for you to be able to see it.
There we go.
Hey, there we go. Oh, you see it? Good.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I'm going to turn that down, and I will share that out.
Awesome. Let me see here. So I'll have to share in there. Good. One more.
What's that again?
There we go.
We're done. Yeah, you can start packing up. I'm sorry, we got the videographers.
Oh, no, that's totally cool.
Are we done?
Cool. That's awesome. So I think I got it shared. Are you good to go, Chris?
Yeah, I'm good to go.
Sweet.
This is Mark, or my videographer.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Yeah, and then, look who's there, Dr. Dan Sullivan.
Hey, Doc, how you doing?
Oh, man, doing great.
Good. Long day of shooting, huh?
Little behind the scenes action.
I love it. Yes. So, hello everyone. Welcome to the Chiropractic Compass podcast and Facebook Lives presented by the legendary Chiropractor. I am your host, Johnny Reuter, and we are here today with Chris Burfield. I think I said that right.
You did. Yeah.
Okay, sweet. And he just got done with about, 12 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours of shooting film.
6 or 7 hours.
6 or 7 hours of shooting film with Dr. Dan Sullivan. So he is a marketing genius, social media marketing genius. So if you have any questions throughout the feed, let us know, and I will try and get them to him so he can answer them. And Chris, please introduce yourself, give yourself a little brief background, and then we'll hop into the topics of what we'll discuss tonight.
Okay, cool. So my name's Chris Burfield. Everybody, you can all call me Burf. That's what all my good friends call me, so I consider all of you good friends now. But you call me Burf. I am not a chiropractor, but I have been involved with the chiropractic profession since 1997. So what is that, like 22 years?
Awesome.
And I started as a chiropractic assistant. I failed out of college, had to get a job, worked some odd and end jobs, and then ended up in a chiropractor's office and fell in love with the principle of chiropractic. And I became very passionate about it, so much so my chiropractor I worked for at the time in 2000, he was like, dude, you got to go to school to be a chiropractor. Like, you got to go back to school and be a chiropractor. Like, we need people with your type of passion in the profession. So I said, okay, where do I go? He's like, you go to Parker College of Chiropractic, the nation. So I packed up all my shit, man, and like I moved to Dallas, Texas. I had a 1997 Ford Escort. I literally took the mattress to my bed and shoved it into my car and drove 1,200 miles with everything that I owned. I had $2,000 to my name that I had saved up, and my car engine blew up 10 miles down the road. And so I had to turn around. My mom was like, it's a sign from God. You're not supposed to go, because she didn't want me to go. And I'm like, no, I've got to go. It's what I'm supposed to do with my life, Mom. So I ended up taking $800 out of the $2,000 I had, got a used engine put in it, and then made the rest of the trip. Got down here, I had no friends, no job, really no money. But I had a mission, I had a purpose. You know, I wanted to go to school and I wanted to be a chiropractor. Mm-hmm. Well, lo and behold, as the universe would deal its hand to me once again, I failed out of college again. So I was taking my prerequisites, man, and 2 years, like in 2000, end of 2001, I had failed out of college a second time. And at this point, I was working as a chiropractic assistant in an office down here. And I just said to myself, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be a chiropractic assistant the rest of my life, because I freaking love chiropractic, and I don't see myself doing anything else except loving and serving in this profession. Right? Mm-hmm. So I ended up working as a CA, and then I had 3 roommates. They were all Parker students, and one of them was getting ready to graduate, and he came to me and he said, hey man, I'm going to graduate here in the next couple months, and I want to open an office, but I don't know the first thing about getting new patients or educating really people on chiropractic and all that stuff. And that was my job as a CA in the office. Like I did the consultations, I did report of findings with people, I did the dinner workshops, I did the outside lunch and learn corporate talks, I did spinal screenings. Like, I mean, I did all this stuff, and I was a tech CA, but also did all the marketing. He's like, I don't know the first thing about that. He's like, how would you like to go into a 50-50 partnership and we'll open an office together? And I was like, oh my God, like, I can't believe this is happening. You know? So, like, I was like, yeah, I'm like, let's do it. So we scraped together $12,000 between the two of us.
Wow.
And that's all we had. We couldn't get a bank loan. We had horrible credit, no assets, but we had 12 grand in credit cards and a IRS refund check. And we opened an office for $12,000. Bought some posters on eBay, got fold-up chairs from Big Lots. We got our front desk from Big Lots, had a 5-year-old computer. We bought a used Surface EMG on Craigslist for like $2 grand. So by the time we paid first and last month's rent, the deposit, and got some equipment, you know, and all that stuff, we were broke. Like, we didn't have money. Like, it was like literally we make some money this month or we go out of business this month. But man, it was like, you know, I had a heart and passion to serve. And so I went out, man, and I just hustle and grind. And got a bunch of new patients in that month. And long story short, within 7 years, we grew it to a practice that was serving about 250 patient visits a week. We were making about $750,000 a year. And my business partner and I started butting heads on some things. Like, I wanted to stick with more principled chiropractic. He wanted to start getting into medical integrated stuff. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but like, it just wasn't where I resonated.
Right.
So I ended up selling my half of the practice to him in 2010 and got into teaching and helping, and also doing the marketing for chiropractors and help them promote their business online.
Awesome, man. What a great story, huh?
Yeah.
The ultimate underdog story. I think you came out on top though, right?
I guess. Yeah. Still growing every day. But yeah, man, it's like when I look back to where I was, like, making $6, I made $6 an hour, working for the first chiropractor. But like I said, man, like I loved chiropractic so much and still do that. Like I would have worked at that fee the rest of my life if I had to. You know what I mean? But yeah, ultimately, you know, it's like one of those things, man, where, you know, it's the old Jim Rohn, you know, story where it's like, you know, the more people you can help get what they want in life, the more you'll get out of life. And
absolutely.
That's always been my attitude towards helping chiropractors get their message out into the world. And, you know, by helping them do that, you know, it's been awesome for me.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, and I we'll get more into that, I think, as we talk about what you do, how you do it, and the specifics of what you really do to market for chiropractors and what you do to market yourself to chiropractors to get business, right? Because everybody needs to be paid and everybody needs to have, you know, some sort of income to live a life. So the topics we're going to cover today, Chris, I reached out to Chris. I said, hey, what topics do you want to cover? He said, playing the long game, how to build, nurture, convert a tribe of raving fans into loyal customers. And I absolutely loved that topic. I absolutely love it. I've read Russell Brunson's book, all on, you know, expertsecrets.com secrets, all that stuff. And he always talks about raving fans and getting fans. But I think we can kind of shift raving fans into patients and into this business model that fits chiropractic to a T. And I think that's exactly what you do, Chris. So if you want to start on just like how to build, where do you start? How do you do it?
Yeah, for sure. So, you know, one of the things I want to just encourage people to do is first start to shift your paradigm on how you market your practice. There is what is referred, what I call hunting, and then there's farming. And the truth is you want to do both. Like, you want to be hunting for new patients, right? But you also want to be farming for new patients as well at the same time. The trap that most people get into is that they're doing one or the other. And more often than not, they're only doing the hunting side of it. So what happens is, just like in any hunting scenario, you go out and, you go out, you do let's say you do a spinal screening, or you do a Facebook ad for a $19 offer to come into your office, or you do a dinner talk. You get that influx of new patients from that particular event. But then what happens is, as soon as that event's over, you're right back into hunt mode.
Yeah.
And what happens a lot of times is that you get into this situation where, at the beginning so you just finished a great month, right? Let's say you just finished a killer month. You had 48 new patients that came in to see you that month. And it came from all these different channels of marketing that you were doing that were designed to basically hunt. So at the end of the month, what happens is, next thing you know, it's the 10th of the month coming up into the new month, and you realize, holy crap, I've only had 2 new patients this month. Where are we going to get our new patients from?
Right.
So you start scrambling together, trying to figure out, what are we going to do? What referral programs can we run? What screenings can we do? What talks so you're constantly in this, what I just call survival mode, right? Where it's just like, you're constantly in search. If you take a different approach to your marketing, if you do that, but also do things that plant seeds for future growth, what'll happen is, over time, and this takes a little more patience. It takes time to where a lot of people get impatient with it, so they give up on it.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I talk about, you have to change your mindset and go all in on the long game. So what you do is you start planting seeds, and one of the best ways to do that is through content, putting out great, valuable content that demonstrates to people that you can help them by actually helping them. Mm. What a concept, right?
Yeah.
So, it's like, if you can show people that you can help them by actually helping them, what you do is you simultaneously increase desire and trust for them to want to become a patient in your office.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example of this, in my own business, right? So in 2006, I started marketing myself online to chiropractors. I created a waiting room DVD series that's actually no longer in existence. I retired it a couple of years ago, but it was called TikTok. And it was like a series of DVDs that chiropractors could buy and play on a big screen in their office and stuff like that. So I started selling them on eBay initially. And back in the day, when you sold something on eBay, eBay would give you the person's email address so that you could contact them. And, I don't know if I haven't sold anything on eBay in a while. I don't know if they still do that. But it used to be they would give you the email.
Right.
So I started creating this database of emails of people that purchased my TikTok DVD series. Well, after about a year of collecting emails, I had about 600 or 700 chiropractors on an email list. So what I ended up doing was, initially, I ended up sending out an email. I had one DVD that I was selling during this time frame. And I got to thinking, wow, if I was selling it for $25 at the time. And I was like, well, if I got one that I'm selling for $25, maybe if I created 3, 4, 5, or 6 DVDs, I could increase the price and sell it as a package. So I ended up creating more DVDs. There was a total of, I created 7 more, so there was a total of 8 in the package. And I sent an email out to these chiropractors saying, hey, you purchased this DVD from me on eBay a little while back, and I don't know if you're aware of it, but I created this new series, and it's this whole series. There's actually 7 more DVDs in the program, and if you'd like them, you can, get all 7 for just, $297. So I sent out this email, and what ended up happening was I ended up doing $6,000 in sales off of this email. And I was like, oh, wait a minute, this is crazy. I just sent an email. It took me 10 minutes to write it.
Right.
So what ended up happening was I started going into this hunt mode where I was constantly making offers to them over buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff.
Right.
Well, to notice that the open rates on my emails kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller because all I was doing was like pushing this product.
Right.
So I started switching gears, and I was like, well, I got a lot of knowledge on marketing, so I'm going to make a video, and I'm just going to like send it out. I'm going to make a YouTube video, and I'm going to email it out to the list and show them like a referral marketing strategy they can use in their office, a program they can do to generate more referrals. So I send out this email that was pure content, and I got like a bunch of emails back at the time. This was like in 2007 sometime. And they were like, oh, dude, that strategy was awesome. Thank you so much for that. And I was getting all this great feedback. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. Never really had anybody email me back when I was pushing sales, right? So I'm like, I'm going to start putting more content out to these people. So I started creating more just free, valuable content, just giving them tips and advice on things they could do to like grow their practice, things that I was doing in my own practice at the time. And I started creating some fans.
Mm-hmm.
There were people that were like constantly messaging me back, dude, hey, thanks, I appreciate that, I appreciate you. And this is before I was on Facebook or anything.
Right.
So I started like creating content that was kind of planting seeds. I wasn't like constantly pushing sales. I was just genuinely helping these people. I was like, ultimately I wanted them to buy my DVDs, but I was giving them free marketing tips and advice.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff that they were actually implementing and getting results from. So I started getting these testimonials back from people like, dude, like we did that Here Comes Santa Claus promotion thing that you talked about, and we ended up getting like 12 new patient referrals. Thank you so much for that. It was awesome. Like, so I was getting stuff like that back, and over time, my fan base kept growing and growing and growing. And by the time my first year of selling that DVD online, I did like $12,000 my first year. By 2010, I had broke the six-figure mark. But it was by giving all this valuable content, creating a tribe of fans, of raving fans that ultimately became loyal customers.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you do this in chiropractic? It's so what you do is like, let's say that you're in a market where, let's say your practice, let's say you really enjoy taking care of people with migraine headaches, right? So what you do is you create content that helps people with migraines get relief from migraines without actually coming into your office. Now, we know that if they're subluxated, that this isn't going to fix their problem, but the tips and advice that we give them may actually help them get some sort of relief. In other words, they get some sort of result in advance. So it may be, hey, I know, if you've been suffering with migraine headaches and maybe you've been to multiple specialists and you're not getting any results, maybe you've been dealing with them for 5 or 10 or 15 years or maybe your whole life, maybe when you have a migraine, like, you get nauseous and you got to go into a dark room and you feel like you got to puke your guts out, or you have to just go into a dark soundproof room and be away from your kids, and like you feel guilty about that afterwards because you feel like you're not being the mom you should be or the dad you should be. I have some advice for you. Research shows us that most migraines and most headaches actually start in the neck. So it's problems in the neck that cause disruption to nerve flow in that area that can trigger migraines and headaches. So one of the biggest stresses to your neck at night, or biggest stresses to your neck, is the way you sleep at night. So here are the 2 best sleeping positions you need to be in each night in order to reduce the amount of stress that you put on your neck and on your nerves. So let's say this person's getting 2 migraines a week, right? And those migraines are like a 9 out of 10 on a pain scale when they get them. They watch your video on Facebook. Let's say you put a video on your Facebook page, and they watch your video, and they decide they're going to try these neck positions, these sleeping positions. And that week, they still have 2 migraines, but instead of being a 9 out of 10, it was like a 7 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, hey, you know what? Like, I still have the migraine, but that actually helped. You know what I mean? So now they begin to trust you a little bit more, right?
Yeah.
Well, he or she like really helped me. Like, that was awesome. I'm going to see if they have any more stuff, right? So now they're going over to your Facebook page. They're checking out other videos. Maybe they go check you out on YouTube. And one of the things that we can do with Facebook that a lot of people don't realize is that when people watch a video on Facebook, there's actually inside your Facebook ads manager, so everybody has the ability to run ads from their Facebook page. When you go into the ads manager, there is a section in there that's called it's called audiences. And you can create a custom audience based off of how long somebody has watched one of your videos. So let's say I've got a 2-minute video on helping people with migraines.
Yeah.
Well, if I have migraines, I may find interest in that video and watch it. If I don't have migraines, so let's say the video is titled, "The 2 Best Sleeping Positions for Migraine Sufferers." If I don't have migraines, I'm probably not going to watch that video.
Right.
It will not be relevant to it. But if I got migraines, I'm going to say, well, this is interesting. I've never heard of this before. Let me see what this is about. And let's say I tell Facebook, anybody that watches at least 25% of this 2-minute video, so they have to watch at least 30 seconds of a 2-minute video, grab that person and put them into a custom audience for me. Now they're in this special audience that I can retarget. And if anybody's watching this, you may have heard these terms, retargeting. It's kind of that, if you've ever been to Amazon, everybody knows what I'm talking about, and you look at an item on Amazon, and you come over to Facebook, and like 5 minutes later, it's there in your news feed. That's retargeting.
Yeah.
Have the same ability to do that with Facebook, with building up these audiences. But the cool thing is about these audiences is that you know exactly what their problem is. So you create an audience of people that have migraine headaches, an audience of people that have children with ADHD and ADD, an audience of people that have disc problems or digestive disorders. And then what you do is you can create content that is based around just that problem and helping those people solve that problem.
Right.
So you put out this content, and what you're doing is you're farming, right?
Yeah.
And they're watching and they're consuming content, and here's typically what happens. They see a video of you on Facebook. They watch it. They say, okay, that was great. That was awesome. Great tips and advice there. I wonder if they have a website. I wonder if this doctor has a website. So they go over to Google and they type in Dr. Dan Sullivan reviews, right? So they go over there and they want to see what people are saying about it. Okay, well, there's some great reviews here. Well, people are really saying some nice things. Well, let me check out the website. So they go over and they check out the website and they make like kind of a mental note of it, right? Okay, well, if I feel like I'm not quite ready to do anything with this guy, but make a little mental note here, right? If I decide to use them, I'll call him. Then let's say a couple weeks later, they go to a party and somebody there, they meet somebody else that has migraine headaches, and this person's saying, oh yeah, I went to this chiropractor, Dr. Dan Sullivan. Oh yeah, actually I've seen his stuff on Facebook. Oh yeah, he's awesome. You should definitely use him. So now like they got this person talking about them, right? And then maybe they go over to YouTube and they look to see if there's anything on YouTube about this guy, right? And what happens is they start searching out and seeking more content.
Yeah.
And then eventually they end up calling your office. They do a Google search again. They go to your website. They say, I'm going to call him. So they call Dr. Dan Sullivan, and the CA on the phone says, so how did you hear about us? And they say, oh, I did a Google search. Right? They don't tell you that they saw you on Facebook, and then they heard somebody talking to you at a party, or maybe in a Facebook group somewhere.
Right.
Where people ask about chiropractors in Facebook groups, like a community website.
Yeah.
Well, like, oh, you should use my chiropractor. So, like, that's kind of the patient pathway, right? So, like, they see you in these different places, and this is all farming. And this, from the time you started putting the content out to the time they made the phone call, could be a week. It could be 90 days. It could be 6 months. It could be like I just recently had. I had a client a guy that just called me up and wanted to talk about me hiring me for Facebook ad services. And he's like, dude, I've been on your email list for 10 years. And I was like, no shit. And he was like, yeah, dude. He's like, I've been following you for 10 years. So he just now hired me, but he's been on my list for 10 years.
Right.
Right? So this is the mindset people need to get into. In addition to hunting for new patients, you should be farming and building up your tribe of fans by giving valuable content.
Yeah, and really nurturing, right? I feel, or not nurturing, but like persevering and not giving up, constantly consistency, giving content, and what kind of content are you talking? Videos? Are you talking infographics? Are you talking everything? What's like the best for a chiropractor to use?
Yeah, you know what? It's kind of like what's in your wheelhouse, right? It's like, you've got some people that are like, I actually have a client of mine. His name's Dan Yachter, and Dan is good on video, but he actually loves to blog. So he writes all his own blogs, and he does a really good job of it. He writes his own blogs, and he writes his own email that drives traffic to the blog post.
Right.
So if you're a good writer and you like that kind of stuff, then I would recommend you do that, right? Now, I don't really like to write that much. I am a big fan of video, and I know a lot of chiropractors are the same way. There's a lot of people that would rather do a video than sit down and crank out a blog post, right? But one of the things I love about video is that it's a way for people to connect with you in a way that helps them, like they actually feel like they build a relationship with you because they can see your face, they can hear your voice, they can feel your passion for what you do, and it's a great way to communicate and connect with them on an emotional level. You know what I mean? It's like some things just can't be conveyed, I should say, in the written word.
Right.
I mean, there's nothing like hearing somebody's voice or, watching a video of them. Like there's a website called wave.co. It's WAVVE.co. And you can actually, matter of fact, I'll pull it up here real quick and just kind of show people this. But it's a website where you can upload an image and then do like a voiceover. So let me pull it up here. Oh, here it is. So
it's just totally next level. I know you're at home right now. I can see it in the amazing picture you just sent.
Yeah.
So it's just a still image, but you can do a voiceover on it. So you can have like a still image and then do a voiceover and use that where people are still like hearing your voice. So maybe you're uncomfortable getting on camera, right? And it's just like, well, I don't, I feel like I'm a little, maybe like I was talking to a chiropractor recently. He's like, I'm kind of like hesitant to get on camera because I'm a little overweight. So he was kind of self-conscious about that. That could be something that he could do to help overcome that, where people could still hear his voice or doing like a screen capture video.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when it comes to making video, just be authentic, be yourself. Like I used to be a perfectionist, and like I would make video, like literally a 2-minute video would take me 30 to 45 minutes to make because like I would stumble over my words and I'd be like, oh, I can't, I stuttered. We have to start over. I didn't say what I was supposed to say, or I was going to say this and I left it out. Let's do it again. And it was like my wife was videotaping me at the time. And she would get real frustrated with it, and she'd be like, "Come on."
I was gonna say, little do we know, your 8 hours of video recording today was like a 30-second segment.
yeah, master at it. Now, right? But that's the thing. Like, as a matter of fact, speaking of that, when Dan and I were recording today, it was all literally in one take. And the thing is that we got on and we just talked and we were just ourselves, kind of like we're doing right now.
Right.
This is literally in one take. I'm not telling you like, oh, dude, hey, I screwed up. I said something I wasn't supposed to say.
Right.
Can we back up and redo that? I mean, we're live right now, right? So, and that's a great way for people to get practice, like doing this stuff. Just go live. If you fumble up or say something you weren't supposed to say, or you stutter over your words, or you miscommunicated something, it's authentic.
Right. Right.
People, like, that's what people want. They want realness. They don't want things that look polished. The more your video is polished, the more your video looks like a commercial or an ad, the less likely people are going to engage with it. If it's just you being raw and real, people will engage with that. That's the type of content that becomes shareable.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be. We all want to buy things, right? But we don't want to be sold.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I can agree with that. Yeah.
So just like when you do online video, it doesn't have to always be like polished and like the whole thing is just a big pitch, you know what I mean, to come into your office. Like, give some real value, some real content.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that brings us into, I kind of want to talk about, we already kind of talked about how you get fans, how you got into the chiropractic world and realm and really dove head first into chiropractic and marketing for people. Now, I understand, like, once we have the fans, right, once we have the patients, once we have the clientele to market to, or even if you don't and you're working on building it up, we talked about the content. Now, we mentioned Facebook ads a ton of times. Are Facebook ads the go-to thing to do to get people either into your office, to see your face and name, to really be that virtual loudest voice on social media? And you know, it's like Facebook ads are really supposedly complex, and there are a lot of secrets, quote, we'll put that in quotes, secrets to Facebook ads that a lot of people don't know. But you, as I consider you a professional at social media marketing and Facebook ads, talk a little bit about how the layperson can market themselves the best they possibly can before they reach out to someone like you who is an expert, and what is the difference?
Yeah. First of all, like, I think if you put all your eggs in one basket, you're making a big mistake. Like Facebook, like, you know, Facebook ads can be leveraged and get you a great ROI, but it should not be the only thing that you put your money into.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, for example, here's the difference between Facebook ads and Google AdWords, right? Facebook ads is that people go onto Facebook, they're not looking for a chiropractor. They're not. They're on there to be entertained. They're there to connect with friends and family, right? They're there to, you know, get their fake news and all our stuff. So they're not there looking. So that is a relationship building platform, right? Now, those people, if you build a relationship with them and get them to know, like, and trust you, they'll ultimately become patients in your office.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike Google, where when someone goes to Google and they type in chiropractor near me or chiropractor Frisco, Texas, chances are they are looking for a chiropractor right now. I have a friend of mine, Dr. David Warman, he calls them new patients in heat. And they're looking for somebody to call right now.
Okay.
Right? So that's the difference between the two platforms. Is one platform better than the other? No. They're just different.
Right.
So one takes a different type of strategy. Everybody, like, you know, there's all kinds of Facebook ad experts that are like, oh, you know, we can get you 100 new patient opportunities in 30 days, or we'll give you $1,000 if we don't. You know, I saw an ad like that recently. A lot of these guys, like, they're very hypey. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And they don't understand the landscape, and they don't understand chiropractic, and they don't understand really how to communicate. Like, you know, they're running this $19 offer type of thing that really just taps into 5% of the market. 5% of the market is going to be ready to do business with you now without knowing you, liking you, or trusting you.
Okay.
Like, you just put a really good deal in front of their face, and they're going to take you up on it because they're deal takers.
Right.
So you have another 45% of the market that will do business with you in 60 to 90 days, but it's going to take building some trust with them. And this is where creating content and then remarketing to those people that watch your content really becomes valuable.
Yeah.
For somebody that is not wanting, like, for somebody that is wanting to just get organic reach from their Facebook page without having to pay for ads and stuff like that, what I would recommend you do is I would recommend that you go live from your Facebook, from your business page, and then share it out to from your business page, share it to your personal profile, share it to any groups that you're in control of. Like, I have a couple of groups. One's called Propaganda Marketing Machine. The other's called Community Guru. So I'll share from my business page out to those groups. But the thing is, if you also have a so let's say you have a relationship with a local gym owner, and let's say you guys are good friends and you work out at the gym and stuff like that, and let's say they have a business page that has 5,000 followers on it, right?
Yeah.
Or 2,000 followers. If you approach them and say, hey, I'd like to create content that I'd like to share from my business page to yours, if you're cool with it, and I won't pitch people anything. I'll just give them tips on nutrition, spinal hygiene, maybe tips on, sleeping, posture, ergonomics at work, just things like that. And if they're cool with it, when you go live from your business page, you can share it to their business page.
Right.
Will appear. And what happens is anybody that watches that video, you can create this custom audience of people. Like if you go in, like again, like I said, if you go to like facebook.com/ads manager, you can go in there and you can choose, there's a little section in there called audiences, and you can click on that and create an audience of people that watch that live video. So you're not making any offers to the gym owner's page like directly, but if they watch any portion of that video, let's say 10 seconds or more, you can get them put into this special audience, and then you can retarget them for content and then make offers to them through the retargeting where you're not doing it from their business page.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So I know some of this stuff's a little, it may seem a little overwhelming, but these are just some of the things that you can do with it. But here's the thing, if you go live from your business page, the more often you go live, the better, right? So more equals more. So if you went live from your business page every day, like I made a commitment in January that I was going to go live every day from January 1st to January 31st. And I think I missed 3 or 4 days. But what Facebook wants to keep people on the platform as long as possible. So what's happening is when you go live and you're holding people's attention, they end up staying on the platform a little bit longer than normal.
Right.
Facebook takes notice of that. Now, Facebook wants people to stay on the platform because the longer they're on the platform, the more ads they can show them.
Mm-hmm.
The more ads they see, the chances are the more ads they will click, and the more money Facebook makes.
Right.
So if they see Chris Burfield going live, and they say, oh, look, Chris Burfield went live, and he kept people on our platform a little bit longer than normal, let's go ahead and show more of Chris's content to his audience because he's keeping them on the platform.
Interesting.
What you'll notice is that the more you go live, the more your content will be shown to more people that follow your page and friends of those people.
Interesting. These are all things that, as a student especially, and starting, the Legendary Chiropractor and this whole little platform for chiropractic students and docs, it's all fascinating to learn about, which is why I knew I was like, I gotta reach out to Chris, I gotta have him on the show, and I gotta tap into that because I don't think a lot of people know about this stuff. And it's not that, they shouldn't use an expert, but I think there are certain things that people don't realize they can do that are very simple and that can drive immense traffic to what they're producing, and then they won't be so bummed out if they don't get any clicks, they don't get any email opens, they don't get anything purchased from them, and etc.
Right.
Yeah. So awesome. That was fantastic. That is Facebook Ads 101. Awesome. So now I know there are a lot of students who follow the Legendary Chiropractor in my group. Anything that students particularly in chiropractic school should know before going out into the real world? What can they be doing now to set up their practice for success, or what can they be doing now to set themselves up for success when it comes to getting a job or something like that?
Well, here's the thing. Like, I recently just had a client who they were working as an associate in Des Moines, and they ended up moving to South Carolina, and they opened an office there. And they had a grand opening just recently. So they approached me back in December. The grand opening wasn't until like the beginning of February or something like that, or February 21st. I think it was February 21st. So it was near the end of February. Anyway, in December, they were like, hey, we want to attract people that are we want to attract moms because we want to focus on pediatrics. So I was like, okay, well, why don't we, since you're not open and we don't have anything to drive people to yet, let's start putting out content that starts to build up an audience of people, of moms that are engaging with your content. So I had them make a video that was titled, is a fever good or bad? And they talked about like why having a fever is not necessarily a bad thing.
Right.
Because, it fights off the bugs and blah, blah, blah. We did another video on 3 ways to get relief from, for your children to get relief from ear infections naturally. And then another video on how to boost your child's immune system naturally. So we just took these pieces of content video and we started running them in December, knowing that their office wasn't even going to be open until February.
Right.
And we just started building up these audiences, and I targeted like moms like age 25 to like 38. And in Facebook in the ads manager, you can target like, 28 women, 28 to 30 or 25 to 38 with kids 2 years of age and younger, or kids from age 3 to 5.
Yeah.
Or 6. So that's what I put in as the targeting. So we started building up. So they ended up like in a 2-month time frame, they built up a custom audience of over 13,000 moms.
Wow.
That watched these videos that are now in this audience, that when it came time to do the grand opening, we set up an ad campaign, and they had over 75 people register for their grand opening through Facebook ads.
Awesome.
Just from the retargeting to the moms that we had been building relationship with these videos over the last couple months. So with that, all that being said, like if you're in practice now or you're in school now and you're like, hey, when I come out, chances are I'm probably going to practice in this town. What I would do is starting a couple months, 2 to 3 months out, take an ad budget of just $500 a month, start running content videos in the community that are targeting the specific type of people you want to bring into your practice, and start building an audience. Like if you just go to YouTube and type in how to create a Facebook video custom audience, like you're going to find a video on it. Like,
right.
I mean, we live in a day and age where all this information is free.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So just go over there and look at how to build a custom audience, and then create some content and start laying the groundwork now, so that when you open the doors, you've got an audience of people that are already following you that you can then invite into your practice for a new patient exam.
Yeah.
Or bring them to a dinner event. So we did the grand opening, and now we have in 3 weeks from now, they have a dinner with the doc scheduled that we're going to invite these moms to come out to this dinner with the doc.
Yeah.
Through a Facebook ad campaign.
Absolutely. I love it. So you just said $500. Throw down $500 a month. Me personally, students personally, can't afford $500 a month. So where do we turn for that?
Well, here's what I would do though. So I'm not necessarily one is that you could start with a budget of just $5 a day.
Right.
So even let's say that $150 a month is too expensive.
Okay.
Right? One of the things that you got to, when you come out, most of you are going to go to the bank or you're going to go get an SBA loan, and you're going to get some money to open your practice, right? So what I would do is I would set aside some of that money as a marketing budget.
And budget, yeah.
Budget, because chances are, you'll get the SBA loan and before you even open your doors, and you'll have your build out and all that stuff like that you're going to do with it. I would just take some of that and I would budget some of that money for marketing to start building that audience. And
Absolutely.
It might be just starting out with, like I said, here's what it basically comes out to. $5 a day, roughly about a penny a view is what you're going to get. 1 to 3 cents a view for someone to watch your video.
Okay.
If you've got a good video, it may cost you 25 cents to get somebody to watch 100% of your video.
Okay.
So on a budget of, let's say, $5 a day, what does that come out to? 25 cents. We're talking, about 25 people? 25 people a day that could potentially watch 100% of your video. So over time, you compound that.
Right.
Day 2, you've now got 10 people in that audience. Day 3, you've got 15 people. And you have this small budget, but over time it starts to build up this audience where their people are seeing your content, but not just seeing it, actually engaging with it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's absolutely fascinating. I really do. And I think it's important for students and docs to know because, again, a lot of people don't know this kind of stuff. And we can benefit tremendously, especially as small business owners, right? We are, as a chiropractor, you will, if you want to open your own practice, you are a small business owner. And that you need to know this stuff, I think, if you want to market your practice. Now, some people don't want to market their practice, and that's fine. But if you do, this is really important stuff that you have to know, especially in today's day and age, right? I mean, technology shifted probably since you got started probably so much, right? I mean, you probably didn't start here. You've been learning the whole time, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it changes. That's the thing. And that's where the benefit comes in of, hiring somebody or mentoring with somebody where you're being kept up to date on the changes that take place with these different platforms. Because, even email marketing used to be really great.
Right.
But now email open rates are getting smaller and smaller. But Facebook Messenger marketing,
yeah,
it's a whole other topic.
It's a whole different game, yeah.
Messenger marketing, you can get 80, 90% open rates, where with an email you're getting 12 to 15% open rates, sometimes less.
Yeah, that's nuts.
A whole different, things, channels of communication are changing.
Right, absolutely, and they always will be. They'll always be evolving.
Right.
But so now we covered pretty much everything. Is there any last thing you want to add? I'm going to end with some action steps for people to take. But I want you to add anything that you think is worthwhile. I will bring up your book and your online show. But anything other than those two things that you want to mention to chiropractors or chiropractic students, anyone watching?
Yeah, I would just number one, find out who you want to really speak to, and what's in your wheelhouse, right? Don't make content based around things that you think people want to hear about,
right?
If that's not truly what you're passionate about.
So
who do you like taking care of? Is it people with migraines? Is it kids with ear infections? Is it pregnant moms? Whoever it is, decide who that is, and then put yourself in that, whatever health problem that person has, put yourself in their shoes for a day and imagine what it's like to live their life with those problems.
Yeah.
Think about all the things that they can't do because of that, or the emotions that they go through as a result of not being able to get this problem handled. And maybe, and then creating content that just genuinely helps those people by giving them tips and advice on things they can do to get relief, but also remember to speak to them emotionally. Let them know, look, I know it's burdensome, it's tiring, it's frustrating. I know you've been to multiple specialists and you're not getting results. I know that you're spending all your free time, all your off days from work. I know you're spending them in waiting rooms trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Really put yourself in their shoes and let them know that you understand what they're going through, because they will form a bond with you and they will connect with you on that. So that's the biggest thing. Find out who you want to market to. And then my buddy Dan Sullivan always talks about, he says, what hill do you want to die on? It's for him, it's getting this truth, this message of chiropractic out into the profession and showing chiropractors how they can take the research that's out there and communicate that to their patients in a way that make their patients understand just how big of an idea chiropractic is.
Yeah.
That's the hill that Dan is willing to die on.
Right.
That's the thing you got to ask yourself as well.
I love that question. That's a great question. Yeah. Now, next, your book. Your book just released. You're giving it away. You were giving it away for free. I'm not sure if you still are, but what's that?
Still giving it away.
Awesome. Yeah, you're still giving it away for free. But it is called The Propaganda Marketing Machine: The Insider Secrets to Promotion, Domination, Prosperity, and Freedom. And as you can see, everyone who's watching this or is going to watch this, Chris Burfield knows a lot about Facebook, about social media marketing, and I mean, trust me when I say if you see a free book on Facebook, me personally, I'm like, yep, sign me up. You know, where do I sign? It's like what, $7.95 for shipping or whatever shipping would cost. I mean, come on, why wouldn't you have that book in your hands?
Yeah.
So go ahead and talk about it a little bit. What it's about.
Yeah, if they'll go over to intentionalpropaganda.com/book, they can grab a free copy. It's $5.60 domestic. If you're in Canada, $12.95. Australia, $14.95.
Intentional propaganda. What was it again?
It's intentionalpropaganda.com/book.
Book. Okay, cool.
So if they go over there, then grab a free copy of it. You also get 8 free videos that will teach you how to position yourself as an expert in your marketplace and how to influence people through these social media channels. So in an ethical manner.
Right.
So the book, I mean, it took me like a year to write it, so it's packed full of tons of great content that I know that if people get it and implement the strategies in it, they'll see a huge difference in how people respond to their business.
Right.
Intentionalpropaganda.com/book. You can pick up a free, and the videos it's a $397 value you're getting for shipping of the book.
Awesome.
So it is a physical book. It's not an ebook, by the way. But I call it a propaganda marketing machine because a lot of people think propaganda is a bad word, and they automatically think lies, deception, deceit when they hear the word propaganda. But propaganda in and of itself is actually neutral. So I call it intentional. The website is intentional propaganda because its intention is based on how the user uses it.
Yeah, I love that.
You can use it to spread the truth, or you can use it to spread lies and deceit. Big Pharma chooses to use it to spread lies and deceit. So what I want to do is I want to teach chiropractors how to use it in a way that spreads the truth about chiropractic and allows people to become more educated on what you do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Other than getting your book for free, any other action steps that people can take to not only follow you and what you're doing, but possibly work with you through Facebook ads or social media marketing? If you want to just mention to chiropractors who are watching, how do they get in touch with you?
You know, one of the things I'd recommend is go over to my Facebook business page. It's Van, V-A-N, Burf, B-U-R-F, Media. So just go to Van Burf Media and follow my page. If you go to the videos over there, you'll see a ton of training videos over there, all done mainly through Facebook Live that show you how to market your business. So just go give that page a follow.
Awesome. Awesome. That sounds amazing. I want to do some shameless plugs quick, so stay with me. So thank you all for watching. Again, this is the Chiropractic Compass podcast, and this is presented by the Legendary Chiropractor online community. Please head to thelegendarychiropractor.com/mentor up to find a mentor if you're a chiropractic student, or even if you're a doc. It is totally for everyone to use in the chiropractic community. Thank you, Chris, for being here. Thank you so much for sharing and shining light on your wisdom and bringing light to people who might not have heard this message before. And that's exactly what I hope we did tonight. And I hope people got some value, and people that watch this later on, I hope you get some value as well. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, Chris, for being on tonight, and have a good night.
All right, you too, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. It was awesome.
Absolutely. See ya.